In a world where superheroes have become the Incredibles,
one team must defend their title at all costs.
If number 4 exhibits self-contained abilities, imagine how extraordinary that is. What else can we know about understanding subtle information through ideas and formulations? From learning mathematics to calculating events, no wonder magic tricks are real beyond the surface. Case in point, one dynamic group gaining superpowers by a cosmic storm gone wrong? Yep. Released on June 27, 2005, just 1 week and 4 days before the film's release, this game piqued my curiosity for movie tie-in games as a kid. Come to think of it, the adequate fun time should be presented here, but the question remains, nearly 12 years later, does this title hold up against other shovelware properties? As a basic setup, the plot centers around 4 main protagonists: Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. Story-wise, it loosely follows the movie's plot somewhat, with only a handful of scenes playable by a minimal stretch. I'm not kidding, I would say at least 15%, while the rest is presumably fan service. Ultimately, it's about the Fantastic Four using their unique abilities to diminish Dr. Doom's maniacal scheme. Sounds familiar, like playing an old game for a refresh. Speaking of which, how does the game play? Well, this is where it actually begins and sets the stage for others to come. No kidding. After being radiated from outer space, you'll start off as Reed Richards, with explanations soon to be underway. After all, you're in a hospital, and rightfully so. Except, fighting robots will lead an answer to that. Even though this never happens in the movie, what a clever way to remind the player how various programmers impose such design choice. Makes sense, I suppose.
Good morning, Victor. I will escort you to safety.
Looks like I made a new friend.
Whoa, see that? Not to mention Reed's ironic posture.
Looks like I made a new friend.
So basically, this whole mission functions like a short tutorial, allowing you to get adjusted of the game's simple controls. Once knowable, can definitely become rudimentary, as learning it requires no expertise. Therefore, passing for progression gets more done than spoken.
She must be close to done.
Exactly, it's time to flame on with Johnny Storm.
Wait, I'm okay! Really? I'm okay.
Well, according to her, you're not. Instead of standing on ground floor, Johnny just hovers at a half speed, and understandably so. Can't blame him for essentially being the Human Torch. He has no problem inflicting damage on robots since his attacks are light and highly impactful. Hey, if having fiery fists mean anything, then what gives? Seriously, blazing quick punches disintegrates them into pieces, which works feasible enough. Go, Johnny, go! Up next is Sue Storm, and there she is. Quietly resting so peacefully, now suddenly awoke from her special predicament. Of course, I'm referring to her visibility. Sticking your way to navigate sections comes off instant, as if, quite literally, nothing happened. Even if the AI should notice.
Sue, I've been trying to find you. Are you alright?
I'm fine, except I'm turning invisible. What's happening to me?
The cosmic storm must have changed our DNA somehow.
Okay, now that's some explanation. Last but definitely not least, Ben Grimm takes over.
This better be a hell of a bad dream.
Spoiler alert, Ben. It's not. Without question, he's the strongest character thanks to his physique. Just look at how he swings his arms. It's almost to say, yeah, I'm that thing. You don't mess with heavy hitters like me. And that's why this is a boss encounter. Striking few dozen punches will unleash a quick button prompts to perform a finishing move. Needless to say, it's awesome.
What the hell is happening to me?
Finally, it ends with a cutscene that moves the plot forward. Wow, these visuals are something else.
The storm. cosmic rays have altered our DNA somehow.
We need to know more right now.
No. What? Now, we need to find Ben.
Now, going onward, expect this to be straightforward. Go figure. So naturally, shifting to Ben's location is where the next stage takes place. Brooklyn. Your task involves rescuing Alicia for her protection. Roaming in these dim streets are clearly not friendly as every thug out here. They will put their tough acts together and simply don't care. Yeah, by comparison, Ben can pummel them without a scratch. This product placement was brought to you by Samsung. Did they plaster their brand to spare a subliminal message for future TVs? In fact, what feels like a tease is actually them boasting about how massive they're growing as a corporate figure, which is no coincidence. They knew big time. Back on track, here Mai into what looks like a dead end.
You're gonna regret the day you came to Yancey Street.
It's clawburn time. How about you get a taste of your own medicine? This super move is generated to bust some serious moves depending on how many enemies are piling against you. It's very useful when the situation becomes increasingly hectic for obvious reasons. That'll show him. Since Alicia feels well enough, it's only a matter of time before Ben knows her pretty good.
Are you alright, ma'am?
I'm fine, and it's just Alicia. Alicia Masters.
Ben Grimm.
The astronaut? You're a local hero.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Well, I gotta get out of here.
Smart move, man. Not long after, Ree and Sue manages to catch up to Ben, presumably a day later. Even they're not having it easy because the situation around them is like an off-putting obstacle. For some reason, these bad guys are patrolling the whole area despite having law reinforcements. There's nothing like minding your own business than having a gangster trying to fight you. Of course, it wouldn't be a hideout without spotting a secret of sorts. The F4 tokens are scattered one per each level. Collecting more grants various unlockables from concept arts to bonus arenas. Man, Ben is going through some rough circumstances now, isn't he?
I'm just trying to help you, Ben.
You've already done enough.
We need to work through this.
Uh-oh, we got trouble. Okay, and what? I didn't know he could disappear after failing that jump. Okay, nothing wrong there. One couple against 4 criminals? Piece of cake.
Well, that could have worked out better.
If I know Ben, he's just off sulking somewhere.
Now they have to find him after leaving just a few minutes ago? Where can he possibly be this time? In Brooklyn Bridge. Only to accidentally cause mayhem by having one fire truck lose control of his footing.
I'm too pretty to die!
Inevitably, your job is to save the day and become the hero, but now invite your comrades to fill in their teamwork.
I'm sorry I lost it back there.
We understand, Ben.
But we need to stick together from now on. We need to be a team.
A team.
Fantastic Four, the Avengers.
They are a potential danger, sir, but they saved a lot of lives today. Yes, Mr. President. I will keep my eye on them.
It's about time. Essentially, mission objectives are straightforward. Walking from A to B is directed by a single pathway. This linear structure keeps multiple occupants barricading every site against your will. In other words, it's a 3D beat-em-up that shows familiarity with little creative output. Here Mai continuously button mashing on what is otherwise a predictable formula. When enemies are wiped out, they'll drop 2 types of orbs. One maximizes the blue gauge for special attacks while the other refills your health. Fighting tons of them will cause frame rate drops unlike any slice shown I've seen. At one point, the action got so heated that my game actually froze midway through. How ironic. On the plus side, switching between your 4 main duels is accessible at any given moment. A quick tap of the D-pad selects one out whenever the level pairs them doing similar tasks. Occasionally, opening new areas consists of solving mini puzzles, mostly activating generators from Mr. Fantastic. I guess one genius can make this work snappy and simple. Along the way, you'll encounter robots, gremlins, ancient tribes, spiders, and dinosaurs. Is this the Night of the Museum territory here? Probably, because mummies are also spotted. What a joke. Gotta escort this lady while fighting them? No problem.
I don't know how to thank you.
Try not screaming the next time you see me. Now go on, get out of here.
Wait, you can thank me too.
After all that shenanigans, Ree and Sue hang out outside of a small plaza when suddenly, these robotic soldiers appear out of nowhere. They're strong as they look, even with their arsenals equipped. This is where having upgrades can be very useful. You spend points based on the amount received during the battle. It's self-explanatory. Now they have to fend off against these tough machines until Sue realizes that both her and Reed need backup.
Ben, Johnny, we're under attack and need your help. Meet us at Times Square ASAP.
So Ben and Johnny reach to Times Square while Reed and Sue manages to leave this heavy mech on the way. And yes, that's its actual name, fittingly enough. Who needs the Avengers when you have a team of extraordinaires known as the Fantastic Four? After all, they can handle incoming threats better than most average contemporaries, especially Ben. Unfortunately, Nick Fury feels the exact opposite as of late. Apparently, he believes that their powers are life-threatening despite the chaos surrounding them.
Who is this guy anyway?
Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm taking you to the vault for your own protection, till I can determine the extent of your new powers.
And this is what it looks like every time you complete a level. It's short and only showcases the totality of your rewarding efforts. With Nick's grueling favors out of the way, it's time to meet our primary villain. And if you've seen the film, you know exactly how it ends, so heads up. Reed, Sue, and Johnny catches up to Victor, battling him into submission. When Ben realizes that his friends are in trouble, he goes back to the reversion chamber and becomes the Thing again.
The Thing is back, baby!
The Thing lives, the Thing dies.
Not if I have anything to say about it. It's clobbering time.
Now Ben must defeat the almighty Dr. Doom before any harm is made elsewhere. Inevitably, both send each other off falling into the ground, which gave enough time for the rest to recover. With enough damage, the Fantastic Four performs their ultimate finishing move. The day is saved and everyone lives happily ever after.
Show off.
As for Doom, well, he's sent away to be locked up for good. Or is he? Despite beating the game on the hardest difficulty, I simply couldn't unlock the 2 Liberia missions for unknown reasons. I was, however, able to unlock a special stage using a cheat code. It's basically a short level that has a comic book feel to it. It's a nice touch. As a whole, Fantastic Four is half decent. It's mediocre at best. Had the gameplay stretched enough variety, integrated hidden elements, and fried it with a maximum impact, we could have gotten an action-adventure that thrives on a fantastic level. Pun intended. The gameplay was filled from repetition from beginning to end, often feeling superfluous throughout. If future superhero games can defy our expectations from a glorious fashion, then the enjoyment can deliver a deep, breathtaking experience. Something that we can all truly marvel at. Wow, it's been a while now, isn't it? I'm sorry if I haven't been uploading recently, but I am trying my hardest to create high quality content. I will be making more videos in the near future. It's about quality over quantity. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.